I was the program coordinator for an intensive outpatient program. I've led groups. I've worked as like a kind of wellness coach. I obviously teach yoga. I own the Grinning Yogi. I teach bar. You guys got a thing for bar too, and my dear friend Adrienne over here does a bunch of that, so poke at her. I've ran kind of yoga therapy groups for inpatient programs, and evidently I'm a speaker of some sort. And this is like kind of part of the list. And then I was like, well, what else am I? And I'm a girlfriend, which I suck sometimes, but I've done that. I'm a sister, I'm a daughter, I'm a friend. I got engaged, so I had to add fiance. I'm still negotiating that relationship. Yeah, my friends are here, they know what I mean. And then by all accounts, I'm a person, right? And that's my default, like, that's okay, Jamie, you're a human. So my story about that is when I was a skater, and this is when I was really, really good, I was having this like life crisis at 16. And I didn't want to be a skater, because that was all I knew, right? From the time I was 11 until that age, I didn't go to high school, like this is what I did. And so I had this big crisis, and I was pretty physically sick at the time. I suffered from an eating disorder. And we all got into a friend of ours' house, because we wanted to have like neutral ground, and sat down with my partner and my coach and the parents, and I said, guys, I don't know who I am. I want to be something more than a skater. So I wanted to share, you all know Brene Brown, right? If you don't, do the Google. She's amazing. But she says this thing that I just love. She says, if we want to be able to move through the difficult disappointments, the hurt feelings, and the heartbreaks that are inevitable in a fully lived life, we can't equate defeat with being unworthy of love, belonging, and joy. If we do that, we'll never show up and try again. Right? So how many times have we really taken something personally? Like, that class didn't go well, I must be bad. And so much of the research says it's much more about, like, I feel bad about this as opposed to I am bad, right? It's that's the space that we need, and that's the space where it's our relationship to how we show up, not what we do. So a lot of what I do now, I go 3 days a week, and I share yoga and I share body image work with people in recovery from eating disorders. And this is another Brene Brown quote, but she says the two most powerful words we can give to each other when someone's struggling is say, me too, right? I've been there. I had this realization recently that I have not stopped for a couple of years now, which means I probably need to. And there's probably a reason I haven't, and that's something I need to get closer to. And I think we've all done that, where it's like, well, I need the backup plan. I do this a lot in dating, and now I'm engaged, so I need to stop. I just I want to make failure, to use your words, I want to make failure kind of less dramatic and more like, oh yeah, that was humiliating, and we move on. There's a wonderful quote, and it says, your heart works for you, but do you work for your heart, right? Do we actually do that? So there's this idea in yoga that our heart is our highest consciousness, right? Our heart knows way better than our brain, which just likes to be fiery all the time. And if you look at kind of the electromagnetic resonance work that they're doing, I'm sure there's a much more technical way to say it, but the amount of vibration, it's here. This is where we're a source, and I think too many of us get used to working up here. And how can we actually come back to what we love? So I have 4 questions to posit to do that. So you guys got a little paper, pen. And the questions are, do I feel nourished physically? Right? Do I feel nourished emotionally? Do I feel nourished intellectually? And then do I feel nourished, and I wrote morally or spiritually? Because everyone, like, we have a different relationship with that. So I wanted to share a quote. Also someone I love, Elizabeth Gilbert. You all familiar with her? Yeah, she says this. She says, life, if you keep chasing it so hard, will drive you to death. Time, when pursued like a bandit, will behave like one, always remaining one country, one room ahead of you, changing its name and hair color to elude you, slipping out the back door of the motel just as you're barging through the lobby with your newest search warrant, leaving only a burning cigarette in the ashtray to taunt you. At some point, you have to stop. You have to stop because it won't. You have to admit you can't catch it and that you're not supposed to catch it. At some point, you got to sit down, be still, and let contentment come to you.